said to be everybody's business. That security which you provide for yourself is the one that you can guarantee 100%. Ensure that you make provision to safeguard yourself. Security agencies, government will only provide secondary security, but you have a big role to protect and safeguard yourself. Welcome to your program, Security Watch Africa, this episode. And thanks for staying tuned to your station, the Africa Independent Television. My name still remains Patrick Abambo. On this episode of the program, we'll be bringing you variety of reports from across the services in the Nigerian security sector. Welcome to the program. Like you can see today, one of us in the studio encouraged us to start providing security tips, weekly security tips to our viewers. Today, we have commenced that. As you can see it, it's scrolling there. Ensure that you buy into some of these tips, study them, and ensure that you assimilate and implement them for your own safety. Welcome to the program. Yes, today we'll be kicking off the collection of reports we have with the report from the Army headquarters. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Abiodun Lagbaja, visited. Again, it's in a continuation of the series of his visit to 82 Division of the Nigerian Army, where he commissioned so many projects. Sit back as we bring you this report by Shirley Daniels.
To enhance the efficiency and sound administration of its personnel through relevant infrastructural development, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, has continued to improve on the administrative standard of the Nigerian Army by constructing new infrastructures and remodeling of existing ones. During his operational visits to the 82 Division of the Nigerian Army in Enugu State, the Army Chief commissioned new corporal below quarters at Abakpa Military Cantonment, new Dragon Officers' Mess, remodeled 82 Division Headquarters, and laying a foundation of a new Officers' Transit Accommodation.
I, Lieutenant General T. Lagbaja, the Chief of Army Staff, hereby commissioned the renovated corporal below quarters here in Abakpa Cantonment this day, to the glory of God, the benefit of our family, and the entire humanity. These are the modern officers, the Dragon Officers' Mess. It's truly a miracle by the Nigerian Army engineer standard. Because for those who are familiar with this environment, we know that some years back, this was just another Sambisa forest, where barracks children come to defecate and do all sorts of truancy. But in the space of about 2 years, the engineers have been able to transform it to this edifice. So I'm glad to be here and to be the one commissioning this officers' mess. I, Lieutenant General T. Lagbaja, the Chief of Army Staff, hereby commissioned the remodeled Dragon Officers' Mess here in Abakpa Cantonment, constructed by 44 Engineers Brigade under the supervision of the General Officer Commanding 82 Division, hereby commissioned this day to the glory of God and the benefit of humanity. I'm excited to be back at the headquarters of 82 Division here in Abakpa Cantonment, Enugu. I'm more excited to see that the tree that was planted about 30 years ago, that is this headquarters complex, successive General Officer Commanding have continued to water it, and the current commanding officer has gone a long way to beautify it and even remodel the reception area. And so therefore I, Lieutenant General T. Lagbaja, the Chief of Army Staff, hereby commissioned the remodeled Headquarters 82 Division, Enugu, this day to the glory of God and the benefit of mankind.
General Lagbacha also presented keys to the beneficiaries of the new accommodation.
03NA/54/4619F, Sergeant Laraban. Sir. Thank you very much, sir.
There is no doubt that a good living and working environment for officers and soldiers can have a significant impact on their morale and ability to carry out assigned duties. Shirley Daniels, Security Watch Africa.
Yes, as part of restocking the inventory of the Nigerian Air Force, the federal government of Nigeria has continued to restock and provide new platforms for more efficiency. During the week, the Nigerian Air Force inducted another set of aircraft for fighter aircraft particularly, and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who was represented by his Vice President, was there in Makurdi to induct these aircraft. Sit back as Elizabeth Tanko brings us this report.
To boost counter-terrorism, anti-crude oil theft, and anti-kidnapping operations in Nigeria, the federal government approved the purchase of some light and heavy-duty fighting aircrafts for the Nigerian Air Force this Tuesday at the NAV base in Makurdi, Benue State. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who served as the special guest of honor, represented by the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, inducted 2 new T-129 attack helicopter and Beechcraft King Air 360 into the order of battle of the Nigerian Air Force. In his address, the special guest of honor expressed confidence that the deployment of the newly acquired platforms will significantly enhance the combat efficiency of the NAV in addressing contemporary security challenges.
The acquisition of these platforms was therefore necessary for improved delivery of robust air power in support of the ongoing counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency efforts, as well as in countering other security challenges. So far, the platforms have continued to contribute immensely to the successes recorded in the decimation of terrorists, insurgents, and other criminal elements threatening our dear nation.
Speaking further, he expressed pride in the NAV standing as a dependable regional power and emphasized his administration's dedication to supporting the Nigerian Air Force.
Since its establishment in 1964, the Nigerian Air Force has played critical roles in national security, as well as in peacekeeping and humanitarian operations around the world. Its contribution to the sustenance and maintenance of peace and security in places like the Gambia, Guinea-Conakry, Mozambique, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Mali, Guinea-Bissau, and Cameroon have not only been a source of pride to Nigeria, but have projected the nation as a reliable regional power.
In his remarks, the Minister for Defense, Dr. Badaru Abubakar, reiterated the need for adherence strictly to safety practices of the aircraft and also acknowledged the sincerity of the President in restoring peace and stability in Nigeria.
I am particularly elated with these achievements because our amiable President, since assumption of office in May 2023, has prioritized security and the third office agenda. This prioritization includes the equipping and professionalizing our armed forces for enhanced operational effectiveness. Few months ago, we all can recall with joy and appreciation the Nigerian Air Force took delivery of 2 additional Diamond 62 surveillance aircraft to add impetus to the ongoing counter-terrorism effort in Nigeria.
Earlier in his speech, the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, noted that the induction ceremony bears testimony of the federal government's unwavering resolve to equip and energize the Nigerian Air Force and indeed the entire armed forces of Nigeria.
This event bears glowing testimony of the federal government's unwavering resolve to equip and energize the Nigerian Air Force and indeed the entire armed forces of Nigeria towards combating terrorism, armed banditry, oil theft, and other threats to the nation's territorial integrity and the security of its people. Let me place on record that barely 6 months since the assumption of office by Mr. President, the Nigerian Air Force has taken delivery of 7 brand new aircraft into its inventory, comprising 4 Diamond 62 surveillance aircraft, 2 T-129 attack helicopters, as well as a King Air 360 light transport aircraft.
The high point of the event was the aerial display of the newly inducted aircraft.
It would be the blockbuster of the year. First time, the agility and precision of the T-129 attack helicopter. Be advised that this is not just your average helicopter. It's a versatile mission. Like someone once said, T-129 is like a superhero by name and a ground-fighting, terror-busting machine by night. For today's practical scenario, ISR platform has just identified a high-value target.
Elizabeth Tanko, reporting for Security Watch Africa.
Yeah, welcome back. Yes, we hope and believe that the office personnel of the Nigerian Air Force will utilize these machines effectively to combat all these criminals that are terrorizing the nation. Yes, let's take you quickly to the Defense Headquarters where Shuli Daniels again brings us a report of what has happened or what the troops of the Armed Forces of Nigeria has done in the last 2 weeks. Sit back.
With the new onslaught by troops of the Armed Forces of Nigeria against terrorists, bandits, kidnappers, and secessionist agitators across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country, the Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, this Thursday during the bi-weekly briefing disclosed that troops have successfully carried out operations against enemies of the society. He listed out some of the achievements.
In the month of January, troops recorded the following. We neutralized 266 terrorists. We arrested 463 of them, and we rescued 116 kidnapped hostages. We also recovered 447 assorted weapons and over 6,690 assorted ammunition. We denied the oil theft of close to 3 billion naira just in the month of January. During the week under review, troops neutralized 105 terrorists and arrested 140 of them. Troops also arrested 26 perpetrators of oil theft and rescued 86 kidnapped hostages. In the South-South, troops denied the oil theft of the estimated sum of over 220 million naira Additionally, troops recovered 208 assorted weapons and over 5,300 assorted ammunition. The breakdown of these include and is not limited to the following: 95 AK-47 rifles, 39 locally fabricated guns, 14 pump-action guns, over 3,800 rounds of 7.62-liter special ammunition, among others.
In line with the directives of President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to the armed forces to ensure that oil thieves do not continue depriving the nation from scarce resources, Major General Buba revealed that troops have denied crude oil thieves the ability to operate and thereby recovering 2,821,503,962 naira in the past 2 weeks.
Troops of Operation Delta Sea recovered over 157,000 liters of stolen crude oil, over 23,700 liters of illegally refined NGL, and over 1,000 liters of DPK. Additionally, troops discovered and destroyed 9 dugout pits, 19 boats, and 21 storage tanks, among others. Troops equally rescued 3 kidnapped hostages and apprehended 50 perpetrators of oil theft.
He assured Nigerians that troops will continue in the fight against insecurity and all forms of criminalities.
I want to urge all segments of society to take example from our gallant troops in the front lines, fighting to achieve the goal of liquidating terrorists and insurgents across the country in order to restore peace and security. These men and women are from all nooks and crannies of our country, and they act shoulder to shoulder as a united force to achieve a common cause of destroying camps of violence in our country.
Shuli Daniels, Security Watch Africa, Abuja.
Yes, so we're taking you now to the force headquarters in Abuja, where the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetoku, held a strategic meeting with his senior officers, with his tactical and command management team on what the security has been and what should the officers and men of the police be doing going forward. Sit back as Lucy Tawo brings you this report.
Since the beginning of the year 2024, there have been several cries of insecurity by Nigerians, and in most cases, the officers and men of the Nigeria Police Force have risen up to the challenges. To review the current security situation in the country and map out fresh strategies to counter identified challenges, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetoku, this Thursday held a brainstorming meeting with strategic police managers who had arrived from the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. In his address, the IGP stressed the importance of addressing concerns and fears of Nigerians regarding insecurity in the country, even as he informed them of his understanding of the gravity and responsibilities they face in ensuring security and safety of all Nigerians.
Let me start by stressing at the outset of this address that apart from highlighting and celebrating our wins and achievements during the period under review, we must also seize this opportunity to reflect upon our shortcomings and obvious gaps in our performance. That will enable us to set the appropriate context for taking necessary and decisive steps towards doing things differently in order to achieve our statutory mandate and responsibilities as outlined above.
IGP Egbetukun boldly enumerated several achievements recorded by his officers and men in the last 7 weeks.
I am pleased to report that substantial progress has been recorded, driven by the implementation of various strategies to address the rising wave of crimes in the country. Of particular significance is the launch of the Special Intervention Squad, SIS, in the FCT, which has started to yield positive dividends as highlighted later in this address. Significant strides have also been made in maintaining law and order, combating criminal activities, including but not limited to kidnapping, armed robbery, banditry, insurgency, and secessionist groups. The commendable level of success attained reflects our collective dedication, resilience, and tenacity, which have played a pivotal role in achieving positive outcomes and fostering a safer environment for our citizens. These commendations and accolades are not mere conjectures or predictions, but are backed up by visible and tangible achievements across the commands and formations nationwide. In the last 7 weeks since we had the last conference, the force has attained noteworthy milestones in containing crime rates throughout the country. This achievement is attributable to the strategic blend of proactive policing, intelligence-led operations, and community engagements as advocated by the force leadership. During this period, we recorded 35 cases of terrorism / secessionist attacks, 302 cases of murder, 111 cases of armed robbery, 172 cases of kidnapping, 67 cases of banditry, and 15 cases of unlawful possession of firearms. By executing some of the strategies and plans formulated at the last conference, the Nigerian Police Force arrested 814 suspects for their participation in various crimes, rescued 107 kidnapped victims, and recovered 106 various firearms, 1,074 ammunition, and 41 vehicles.
The #1 police officer in Nigeria assured Nigerians that the police force remained resolute in addressing security challenges confronting the nation.
I assure you that the Nigerian Police Force remains resolute in its commitment to protecting lives and property, and we are actively working to address the security threats facing our nation. By fostering stronger partnerships with communities, leveraging intelligence-led approaches, and enhancing our operational capabilities, we are dedicated to confronting these challenges head-on and restoring peace and stability across the country. The safety of our people is our utmost priority, and we pledge to continue undoubtedly in safeguarding our beloved nation.
As the Inspector General of Police, working together with the police management team and strategic managers rejig their intelligence and operational strategies, Nigerians are eagerly looking forward to improved policing in 2024. Lucy Tao, reporting for Security Watch Africa.
Welcome back. Yes, that is the end of the collection of reports from all the services in Nigeria, telling you what is happening and what should be done and what the services are doing to guarantee and provide security for the citizens of the country. Like you've been seeing on the scroll bar, the security team, the Security Watch Africa Initiative security tips. I want to emphasize that you try to imbibe this, like you said, ensure that doors and gates are always under locks and keys at all times. It's better, it prevents the criminals from having easy access to wherever you are. So don't give strangers lift, but if you must, please be extra careful. It's very, very important, in these days, sometimes we're advised to be our brother's keepers, but sometimes we also have to be very, very careful who you are helping, because the criminals have devised a means of trying to capture innocent citizens who are trying to assist. Conduct comprehensive security checks before hiring domestic employees. This is very, very important because most of the kidnap incidents that have been recorded and even attacks in homes or outside are from informations gotten from domestic employees. So we have to be very careful. Before opening your gate and door late night, ensure nobody is trailing you before you open it. Watch carefully so that you won't give access to criminals to harass you and your family members. Ensure that a valid ID card is always with you all the time. It's very, very important. That can never be overemphasized because as the security forces are mopping up criminals on our streets, innocent people could be. But with a valid ID card, you could be able to explain yourself to them so that you will not be detained and be labeled a criminal. Then scrutinize your children's friends. This can never be also overemphasized because in these days where they are recruiting the young ones into criminality, getting them involved in all sorts of criminal activities, cultism, drug abuse, a lot of things. You must know who the friends of your children are. So we're getting signals to leave. We'll continue giving you this information every episode of this program so that you will know what to do. Until we'll come away again next week. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Send us your views and your comments so that we can do better than we are doing now. Until then, bye for now and remain blessed.